I paid for my in-laws' anniversary cruise with my bonus. A week later, they held a family dinner I wasn't invited to. "It's just family," my husband said. I stared at him, speechless. But when they returned from that trip, what they found in their bank account, I got the bonus 2 weeks before Christmas. It was the biggest one I'd ever gotten, $5,000 before taxes, about $3,800 after. It felt like a reward for the hell I'd pushed through all year. I work in corporate accounting and quarter end had nearly broken me. But when the deposit hit my account, my first thought wasn't about a spa day or new clothes. It was about Derek's parents. They'd always been polite to me. Not warm, but not cruel either. I've been married to Derek for 7 years, and in all that time, they've treated me like I was temporary. Like I might still be a phase he'd grow out of. But I thought maybe I could change that. I thought maybe if I did something big, they'd see me as one of them. They'd never had a real vacation. Not even a honeymoon. They'd worked hard, raised 3 kids, and stayed in the same Wisconsin town their whole lives. So I told Derek I wanted to use my bonus to send them on a cruise. He looked surprised. "Are you sure? That's a lot." "I want to," I said. "They deserve it." He agreed, told me it was beautiful of me. I picked out everything. The 7-day cruise, balcony cabin, flight, transportation, even a prepaid excursions package. All of it was booked under my name, paid with my card. When we gave them the tickets at our house, they acted stunned. His mom cried. His dad got quiet. I felt good. I thought maybe I'd finally earned a place in their hearts. That feeling didn't last long. A week later, I was scrolling through my emails at work when Derek texted, "Dinner at my parents' tonight. Don't wait up." I called him. "What dinner?" I asked. He hesitated. "Just a little get-together. No big deal." "With your parents?" "Yeah." "And I'm not invited?" There was a pause. "It's just family." They didn't want to make it formal. I sat there in my cubicle, stunned. "You don't think I count as family?" He sighed. "It's not like that. They just wanted it to be relaxed. You know how Mom gets." I knew exactly how she got. Polite in front of others, but cold when no one was looking. I went home that night and reheated leftovers. Around 9 p.m., I checked Facebook. His sister had posted photos, everyone at the dining table, smiling, laughing. All 3 of their kids with their spouses. Everyone but me. I stared at the screen, my stomach turning. The next morning, Derek acted like nothing happened. I didn't bring it up again. I just waited. 3 days later, I drove them to the airport, handed them the envelope with their cruise itinerary, and smiled like nothing was wrong. But in my head, I was already moving pieces. His dad had asked me 2 years ago to help him with online banking. He wasn't great with technology, and I offered to walk him through setting up the app and password. He trusted me, said I was smart with numbers. I'd helped them budget, shown them how to manage their bills. And I'd kept the login, just in case they ever needed help again. They hadn't changed it. The moment I saw their plane take off, I opened my laptop. Logged in. There was around $6,400 in their main checking account. I knew their usual balance. It fluctuated, but never stayed high for long. They used it mostly for bills, groceries, occasional cash gifts to their grandkids. I didn't touch it all at once. That would have been obvious. I started by setting up a small wire, $300 to a savings account I had access to listed as investment split. A day later, I moved $500 more, labeling it as holiday loan. Then $700 labeled property tax. I knew they wouldn't be checking their account mid-cruise. I was careful. Quiet. By the time they got back to Wisconsin, over $2,800 was gone. And the labels I used made it look like it had gone toward household obligations. It wasn't theft. Not in my eyes. I was taking back part of what I gave. What I paid. What they took, smiled for, and then used as leverage to exclude me. They got back a week later. Derek picked them up from the airport without me. I told him I had work meetings. Truth was, I didn't want to see them. I didn't want to look at their smug, sun-kissed faces after what they'd done. But I was curious. So I watched. I waited. That evening, Derek came home and said they had a great time.
Good, I said.
They want us to come over tomorrow. They brought back some gifts. I almost laughed. They brought back souvenirs? He didn't catch the sarcasm. Yeah, Mom said you'd love this little silver bracelet she found in San Juan. I didn't respond. I knew how that bracelet was paid for. The next day, we went over. I didn't want to, but I needed to see them. His mom hugged me like nothing had ever happened. His dad said, "Thanks again, sweetheart. Best trip of our lives." Sweetheart. I wanted to spit. They handed me a cheap-looking trinket, probably worth $10. They talked about the shows, the food, how luxurious the ship was. Then his sister chimed in. "We were thinking," she said, "maybe next time we do a big family cruise." Everyone. Everyone. Except probably me. I forced a smile and said nothing. A week passed. Then another. That's when the first call came. Derek was in the kitchen, pacing, phone pressed to his ear. His tone went tight. "What do you mean it's missing?" "No, I didn't touch it." "No, I haven't seen the account in months." I kept chopping vegetables. He hung up and turned to me. "My parents said some money's missing from their account." I looked up. "Really?" "Like a few thousand. Weird labels. Loan, investment, something about taxes." "Huh?" I said. "Think the bank messed up?" He nodded slowly. "Maybe." I told them to file a report. I said nothing else. But that was just the beginning. A few days later, I got a message from his sister. "Hey, just wondering, did you help Dad with any transfers lately? Some weird stuff is showing up in their account." I left it on read. Then I got a text from Derek's mom. "Hi, sweetheart. Any chance you remember helping with a payment for property tax?" We're a bit confused. Now they wanted to talk. Now they remembered I existed. I replied, "Sorry, I haven't touched the account since last year. Hope you find what you're looking for." They started getting nervous. I could tell from how Derek kept bringing it up, his voice getting sharper every day. "They're going to the bank tomorrow," he said one night. "They're filing a fraud report." I raised an eyebrow. "Against who?" "I don't know. But they're scared. My mom's crying every day. She thinks someone's stolen from them." I said, "That must be awful."
He didn't look at me.
Then it got worse. Their mortgage company sent a late notice because one of the transfers I made had bounced a scheduled payment. His dad's credit card got declined at a pharmacy. And his mom found out that the tax payment never happened. They called a family meeting. Derek told me not to come. "It's just between them," he said. "They're trying to figure it out." I nodded slowly. "Of course. Just family." He flinched. They all met in his sister's living room. I sat home alone again. The difference this time? I wasn't sad. I wasn't hurt. I was just getting started. 3 days after that family meeting, Derek came home with a look on his face I'd never seen before. Tight, pale, like he'd swallowed something sharp. "They think it was you." I looked up from my laptop. "What?" "My mom. She's convinced you took the money." I stared at him, dead silent. He rubbed his jaw. "She said you're the only one who ever had online access. She remembered you setting it up." My dad backed her up. "Are they accusing me of stealing?" He hesitated. "They're not using that word. But they're thinking it." He nodded. "They want to talk to you." "No, come on, just talk to them, clear it up." "Clear what up, Derek? I didn't do anything wrong." I kept my voice steady.
"Come."
That night, I changed all my passwords, moved some money out of my savings into a private online account. I didn't trust anyone in that family now, not even him. But things didn't stay quiet. The next week, Derek's dad went to the bank and asked them to pull IP logs. He requested all online transactions from the dates the money was moved. I didn't think they'd do it. But apparently, the fraud claim had triggered a deeper review. That's when I got scared. Because while I used their account to take my money back, I did it through devices in our house, our shared Wi-Fi. If the bank dug deep enough, they'd see locations matching our IP. And even if they didn't pin it to me, it would still fall on us. Then came the email. I was at work and my phone buzzed. It was from Derek's sister. Subject, talk to me. We're not trying to come after you legally, but if you just return what's left, Mom and Dad will drop it. They're old. They don't want drama. Just make this right before it goes further. I stared at the message for 5 full minutes. Then I forwarded it to my personal email and deleted it from my work inbox. A few hours later, Derek texted me. Did you talk to my sister? I didn't answer. That night, he waited until after dinner. I need to ask you something, he said. Go ahead. He exhaled. Did you take the money? I turned to look at him. What do you think? I don't know. Okay? But you're acting weird. You're quiet all the time. You didn't even deny it. Because I'm tired of explaining myself to people who wouldn't lift a finger for me. They're my family, and I'm your wife. I paid for their cruise. I gave up my bonus. And what did they give me? A cheap bracelet and a dinner I wasn't invited to. You think I'm just supposed to smile and be grateful? He didn't say anything. I stood up. They stole my place in this family. I took something back. You did do it. His voice was barely a whisper. I didn't answer. He slept on the couch that night. The next day, I got a letter from a lawyer. Not an official suit, just a demand notice. Requesting restoration of misappropriated funds, totaling $2,850. They knew the exact number. And now they were trying to keep it clean, private. No police. Just pressure. What they didn't know. I documented everything. Every bank transfer, every cruise charge, every tax document, every expense. I had screenshots, email receipts, booking confirmations, all from my account. I even had the text where Derek called it my bonus. If they pushed me, I could push back. Harder. But that's when something inside me snapped. I didn't just want my money back anymore. I wanted them to feel what I felt. Cut out. Used. Forgotten. I wanted him, my husband, to see what loyalty meant when it was tested. So I gave them what they wanted. And then I started planning something much worse. I gave them the money. Every last cent. $2,850. Wired back to their account from my personal savings. I even included a memo line. Consider this my exit fee. The next day, I left Derek. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I packed 2 suitcases, left my ring on the kitchen counter, and walked out while he was at work. I'd already signed a short-term lease on an apartment 30 minutes away. Paid up front in cash. I didn't want him to know where I went. I didn't want any of them to know. He called me that night. 14 missed calls, then a voicemail. Why are you doing this? I stood by you. I didn't press charges. I protected you. No, he didn't. He tolerated me until it was inconvenient. Then he chose them. I filed for divorce a week later. No kids, no shared property, and most of the accounts were in my name. Derek didn't like handling finances. I'd been careful. The only real shared asset was the car, which I let him keep. I wanted nothing that tied me to that house or that name. And then I went after the part that mattered most, their reputation. Derek's parents were well known in their town, church leaders, longtime community volunteers, faces in the Rotary Club newsletter. They prided themselves on being respected, admired. That image was their currency. So I wrote a letter. Not to the police, not to a lawyer. I sent it to their church board, anonymously. I detailed everything. The cruise I paid for out of pocket. The family dinner they excluded me from. The subtle ways they'd undermined me for years. I included receipts, screenshots of texts, pictures of the cruise confirmation in my name, the dinner photos from Facebook where I was conveniently left out. I even mentioned how they'd accused me of theft after I paid for their trip. How they forced my hand. I didn't lie. I didn't embellish. I let the facts speak for themselves. 2 weeks later, I heard from a mutual friend that they'd quietly stepped down from their church roles. There were questions about their behavior, especially toward family. Donations dried up. Invitations disappeared. Their clean image cracked. And Derek? He tried to play victim. Told people I took off and left him in a mess. But word got around. His sister must have told someone because eventually the story turned. People started asking, wait, wasn't she the one who paid for the cruise? I didn't answer the questions. I didn't need to. By the end of the year, Derek sent me one last email. I messed up. I see that now. I should have defended you.
I'm sorry.
I didn't reply. I printed it, folded it, tucked it into a box with my old wedding photos, and shoved it in a closet I rarely open. Sometimes revenge isn't about making them suffer the way you did. Sometimes it's just about taking everything you gave and walking away without giving them a damn thing more.